Hey there, welcome to the vlog again. Tonight I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to show you how to cut a whole heap of travel audio clips onto a piece of music and synchronize the cuts with the beats in the music. It's a fairly simple thing to do once you've seen it once. A lot of people don't realize that it makes such a profound difference to the clip when somebody's viewing it. So anyway, I'll start straight away just by selecting a pile of clips that I've got here, and I'm just going to drag them all into the timeline in Final Cut Pro here as they are. Now when you're working with Final Cut Pro and you drag a whole heap of clips in, it takes them all into the timeline and in sequence in the order that they are in your media library. So I've just dropped all of those in there, and I'll just shrink the timeline down so they're all visible, and then I'm going to put an audio clip in from Ryan Little. Now this track I've chosen is called Slow Down. Now as you can see, the video that I've got here far exceeds the music, and also the music far exceeds the time limit I really want as well. So for the intro clip I just want about 30 seconds. So I'm just going to bring that back so that it's roughly 30 seconds there. That's close enough for now. As you can see, there's a heap more video than there is audio, but that's okay. What we're going to do now is just quickly skim through the video clips and have a look at how long they are. This one's 12 seconds. There's another clip just up here which I think is about the shortest one at 9 seconds. What I'm going to do is each clip in the final video is going to be around about 1 second or less long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut everything into about 4 or 5 or 9 second segments, which is going to be far more than I need for this. So I've got 30 seconds. I only need about 30, 35, 40 different clips at the end of it. So what I'm just going to quickly do is come and cut some of these up like this. Later on I'll probably discard a whole pile of them if they look too similar one after the other. Fast moving things you can cut tighter together because the entire frame content is going to change rather quickly over a period of time. Stuff that's slower moving, you just want to cut it once it moves. So for example there and there, well, I'll leave that one alone in a big gap like that because that's more than enough. Then I can cut that clip there, and again up here, and again around here, because it's showing a few different transition points. That one there shows just a jump cut of me walking. I'll probably delete one of those later on, but I'll leave it for now. This here's a static image. I'm just going to leave it. I had the camera locked off while doing that, and pretty much the same during this one. When I get into here, it moves around quite a bit, so I'm going to just do a few different cuts in here to get the different locations I was in. This one here is a bit of a messy one, but that's okay. Sometimes these clips that have bits of humanity in them, which is, you know, when I get my finger in the way of the lens and stuff, they can be quite interesting to keep and have a look at. Now I've got a portion here of this that's upside down. I'm not really worried about that. That can disappear. I've got a couple more clips here about the side of the car, following a truck, and a whole variety of things here where I'm travelling down the motorway, and bits and pieces like that. Motorway travel's a bit of an interesting one. It can be quite boring. It all looks very similar, but the jump cuts actually make it look a lot more interesting as long as you keep them fairly broad apart. There are features on the motorway travel as well that you might want to pick up on, like here we go, we've got this overhead gantry here with some lights on it. We want to put a cut just before that. That way when this clip comes and gets edited down to 1 second or less, then you've got that bit of gantry in there as well. So it's just something to highlight it and make it not look like every other piece of footage on the coming down the motorway. It just highlights up different things. Here's the same here where we've got this overpass, and just before that we've got another bridge, another truck that we're approaching, and then just a bit further down the motorway some different light and a slightly different angle on it. We don't need too many of these. As I said, there's only about 30 odd 40 clips that I need all up. So here's one with the truck passing me on the other side. When we get past here and start getting back into town, I'll get a clip here of the stadium, another clip here of some other buildings as we get into town, and just click that one through, and that'll about do us. And I'll just leave that because that's all fairly much the same thing anyway. Okay, so now that I've got all those clips there, I can shrink the timeline back down again, zoom out so you can see all of that. As you can see, there's quite a few cuts in there. What I can do in Final Cut is select all of those, just hit Control D to change duration, and then I can just edit the duration of all clips standardly to 1 second. What that does is it trims all clips from the right to the left, so the left tail of the clip will stay where it is, and the right tail will shrink in so that you've only got 1 second of footage left. As you can see, if I zoom back in, that leaves us with still quite a few more seconds than we have actual footage, but that will reduce a bit in a second once I come in a little tighter. And now you can see my 1 second cut is actually a lot longer than these beat cuts on the waveform. So we're now looking at the waveform as a guide to how long we want these clips to be. Now that's 25 frames up to there, so I'm going to guess that about 17 frames, 18, 17 frames will be enough. So I'm just going to change the duration again and bring that down to 17 frames. See, that's not too bad, but you see pretty quickly that a frame starts getting a little bit early before the beat as you start getting further in. So what I'm going to do, from the look of that, it's not a lot of movement, so I'm just going to select every 5th frame and I'm going to, there we go, that one there and one more just because I can. So you can see by here that it's changed quite dramatically. It's sort of between 2 part beats, and each one of those I'm going to extend just a little bit so that it gets back out to here. So I'll go duration and I'll increase that from 17 to 18 frames. Now if I do that, you see we're back up to a point here. So basically that's because it's 17.25 frames, or 17.2 frames for each sequence. So that's going to roughly line up quite nicely, I would say. Now let's have a quick look at that. I'll just grab that footage there and remove the sound from it, and then I'll just play that back. As you can see, that quite nicely changes clip each beat. Cool. Okay, so that's quite nice. I'm quite happy with that at the moment. So that is a real quick way of synchronizing all of that. Obviously you're going to have a few more clips than you need. That's a good idea. You're going to want to reduce some down a bit. What I've got, if you come through here, some of these are just going to be pretty much the same or just rubbish footage. So there's a couple of interesting human shots in there, but I don't want that many of them, so I'll trash that one. There's one of my arm, one across the dashboard, one of my thumb. That's okay, that's not too bad. They've got 2 there of bits of window, they're pretty much the same, so one of those can go. So yeah, I'll just continue that and keep it lined up coming out here. I'll just increase the duration of every 5th frame again to 18. I'll just do a couple of them manually, and that's just bumping them out just a little bit so that they all fit in. That brings me out to 33 seconds or whatever it is here, 32 seconds. And that's more than enough. Now if I want to bring some of this stuff back in, then that's just a matter of getting rid of some of this other motorway footage here, which is a bit repetitive, so that's okay. It means it's easy stuff to get rid of. I've got 2, 3 there at the traffic lights, so a couple of them can go. and those two there are basically backing onto each other and being the same footage. I've got a couple here that are similar but they're different, so that's alright, they'll be fine. Coming through here, that one doesn't serve much purpose. And there you go, so a couple of these can disappear as well. I'll move that one that doesn't have as much sunlight in it. And there we go, I'll just pull the sound out to the end of there. Make a gradient off the end of the sound, and there you go, you've got a clip synchronized to audio. That's simple. Now I believe there are some other tools out there that can help you do this, and I'll do another one in a few days with how to synchronize a different way to a more complex beat pattern where it's not just even cuts all the way through. But that's enough for tonight anyway. Now pop back tomorrow because I've got an interesting unboxing happening. I've finally got myself a new vlogging camera coming, and it should be here by the time I get back home from work tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be quite exciting. So thanks for watching this. I hope it hasn't been too boring. It's not exactly one of the most interesting blogs in the world, unless you're a tech editing geek who uses Final Cut and does this kind of thing. And I'm just really hoping that the GoPro recorded audio this time. But I've got a second GoPro just in case, which I couldn't put a microphone on because I didn't have one. Okay, if this has been useful, please click like, share the video out. If you haven't subscribed, do so already so that you don't miss more of these videos coming up. And get all of your friends to subscribe as well. I really appreciate everybody who keeps watching all these things. It's the people who watch these YouTube videos are the life and blood of YouTube. And without people looking at this stuff, there'd be absolutely no point in us making it. So big ups to you for being involved and keeping an eye on it. Okay, thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow.